was bullshit. Like protein's bad for
Protein's
the kidneys,
bad,
but it's like, oh man. So today, do you want to talk about this or talk about the kids, or because we could do two things,
bro. This is legit, man.
Because we're at the pass right now. Let's go with this. We could do like strength training in populations, part one.
Special pops.
And we could do geriatrics and we could do pediatrics.
Mm-hmm.
You want to continue the geriatric talk?
Let's do it, man. Yeah.
We're going to talk about how, we're recording right now.
We've been recording this whole time.
Have we used any profanity?
You did. Can you believe
Did you use any profanity?
I didn't.
So you can maybe I could be blamed for it. But you know what? No one's listening. We're going to find out someone actually listens to this stuff.
We'll do a disclaimer at the beginning.
There may be like it's PG-13.
Maybe PG-13.
Like there could be one curse word.
I think there was 3.
No, wait. There was.
I think you dropped the F-bomb.
No, wait, for real?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But we're about to find out. But you know what? Coffee Press needs more views.
You know,
and if we get hit by YouTube or anybody, that means we made it, babe. We made it.
That's it.
It's a controversial episode.
Controversial.
It's an Easter egg, man. Like if they find the profane word,
you gotta find it. What bad word did Dr. Pat use?
What did Mr. Tyler? What did future Dr. Morrison know you were saying?
Right.
Oh man. So we gotta just went into the special populations.
Yeah, special pops.
That's some meta stuff. Like we just did the reverse. So we're gonna have the title later on when we finish the video, but that was a real conversation. That was a sneaky video. And I'm sorry, man. We're just random. Like we were just warming up.
And sound check, you know.
Like I don't know if the sound check's gonna work.
Hopefully it works, man. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this is live.
So man, now it's kind of a different pressure because right now, earlier we were kind of like going.
Yeah. Now I'm like, oh man, let me just sip my coffee from the new owner of Tideway. He got this stuff from Colombia. It doesn't have a name yet, but when it has a name, I'll give him a shout out.
For sure. Mysterious Colombian products. We'll have a name later.
Showing up at a doorstep. What's this?
And in Galveston, Texas, like once a month, I swear it still happens. Like this random things show up on the beach.
Yeah.
That aren't legal.
Oh, that's
the
just
biggest
coffee.
thing.
It's just coffee.
It's
coffee.
Weighs a couple of kilograms.
It's weighed in kilos.
And if you find that in Galveston, Texas, take it to the police department or just leave it alone. How about you just leave it alone? Let's keep it like the hip hop culture.
Just
like no one likes a snitch. Just keep it moving. I've seen Narcos a few times.
Leave it alone. Yeah, we've seen how this plays out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
coffee.
It's coffee press.
Coffee press. I don't have the coffee, so my Tyler's taking the lead. Very passionate because you have. I'm a physical therapist and I'm still in the insurance system. I'm trying to get out and be more cash based and be involved. Actually, be involved in cultures and strength training cultures. I can't really say an age I like to work with.
I like that shirt, by the way.
This is the O'Connell program, of course, that Coach Morrison works with. But that's kind of like my goal. I look at this. I have 2 shirts from y'all.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my goal to get back into training these populations. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got the red color, the dragon energy.
Nice.
The gray's a little more subdued.
Yeah.
A little more relaxed.
Perfect. Yeah.
I guess we were talking earlier about the special population with more geriatrics, which was an honest conversation. I mean, it was all honesty that we had.
Right.
The thing is, now we're kind of freezing up because it's.
Well, we were kind of.
But we were talking about
support at home. You know,
we were joking about the support at home, but like creating the culture.
Right.
Because you can have buy-in. So first we talk about the individual response. So strength training in geriatric population is completely safe because that's adaptations, that's principle. And you got to think about it, Tyler. Even from a clinical examination, a neat test that we can do with different populations, like. When you're at training with you, every visit is a test of sorts. Maybe you max out one time, but you're seeing how somebody responds. You're adapting, and that is a perfect way to see if strength training is appropriate. You're in a strength program, and as long as you're live from a physical therapy standpoint, exercise science principle is like if you're moving, that's exercise. Right. It's just termed differently. But the thing is, we have to get away from this number that you can't lift weights because you have to pick up like those 24 packs of water. Right. People buy packs of water in gallons. That's 10, 20, 30 pounds.
Right.
And if you only do that once a week, twice a week, you're maxing out. That's your capacity.
That's your max effort.
So technically, I was in my Tyler because we got some of our older population, and they were here for so long with therapy, they couldn't afford it anymore. Medicare didn't want to pay for it, and maybe they needed a different stimulus. So we always had Tyler work with him. He did a really good job. I always admired him just using different types of weight strength training equipment with our different populations. So can you kind of go over that, like your thought process? How about when you first started compared to now? How you ease into strength training?
Well, I mean, the thing with that is that when somebody's here in rehab, they have that rehab mindset.
Rehab mindset.
Rehab. Yeah. I'm in physical therapy right now.
I don't want to be in pain. My pain. Yeah. What's your pain? It's a 2 or it's a 7.
2 or 7 or 15 out of 10. And so they come to rehab, and it's just in the culture, like you said, the culture is different too, right? When you got a bunch of people who are all in chronic pain, it's a different kind of feel for it,
Exactly.
And then, as you said earlier, it can kind of like it can be heavy on you because you want to fix these people, you want to make them pain free, right? But it's so much more than just movement, right? And this is that mind, body, soul connection, right? And so then there comes a stage in life or in the rehab process where it's like, wow, you're moving on from doing TheraBand. Now you can do this. Now you're picking up this. Now you're doing that. And it's not like an overnight transition. As we know, adaptation doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, right? But as we progress, we get that progressive overload. Bing! Keyword, right? So you get that progressive overload in rehab or strength and conditioning in the weight room or whatever environment you're in your garage or your living room, right? There's going to be some type of an adaptation, right? And you can manipulate those variables accordingly with volume, load, right? And then combine that, making volume load, right? Then you can let somebody take more control, right? Give them a little more autonomy with what they want to do. And that's when they get that buy-in, right? And they're like, man, I want to feel better. I want to move better, right? I want to be stronger, right? When you got that geriatric population, in that state where I want to maintain my independence for as long as I can, right? That's a game changer, man.
Absolutely. In
the rehab world, you guys go over ADLs a lot. Even, in the weight room too, working with geriatric population, ADLs are crucial.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing every single day, right?
Let's talk about ADLs, the activities of daily living. I mean, some people think it's like walking, sit to stand, stairs. It's also getting off the floor. Right. It's also crawling. Different things that most adults don't do, like
rolling
even
out
in the
of
30s
bed,
and 40s, rolling. And how many times have you've worked with the patients like they're in the bed and they like reach for you, like help me out, like yo, like, and we like it's kind of
see what you can do.
It's like you do it because if you're not here, how are you getting out of bed?
Exactly.
And they're probably digging and digging. That's why we talk about avoiding enabling these bad behaviors, because going back to earlier, like this exercise is just your basic ADLs. Like you scooting in bed or getting out of bed without your arms doing a sit up. That's maintaining strength. And the more you get like the family thinks you're like, oh, you're old, you're retired, you deserve this. Let's give you like this expensive bed that folds.
And let's help you get out of bed every time you need out of bed.
You look like you're moving, so let's help you. And all of a sudden, that person is getting less exercise.
Right.
They're becoming deconditioned.
Right.
To the point that they're just like
it's slowly
moving.
Declining.
And all of a sudden, it's like they have back pain. It's like they get an X-ray. Then it's like, oh, they have a stenosis. Oh, they have this, and it's all this like fear mongering.
Right.
It's like, well, first off, you've had that over the last decade or two.
Exactly, or herniated disc or whatever. It's like, it didn't just happen.
That's the reason why I'm in pain. It's like, no, homie, that's probably been there. And
it's been there, right?
But you just got an X-ray today.
Yeah.
You saw that today. That's what it is.
Reading some literature on disc herniations or even stenosis or something, like a high percentage of the population that'll be present on imaging.
Exactly. Right? It's a weird correlation causation situation, and I was in the rant earlier probably heard like about my fear, but I had my disc herniation because I went to school, all this fancy training, and like I was supposed to be better, be a good example. When I got it, it was multiple things. It was me knowing I had disc herniation and knowing that like was I incompetent, and I lost faith in myself in strength training and as a PT. That was a very personal journey. I'm still going over in the last 10 years, but I can only imagine someone who has a unique journey, who has maybe a physician who has a lot of education in the human body, but doesn't know much about exercise and maybe has some fear beliefs. Or like somebody who has low education and feels like, well, my body just wears out.
Right.
Like, it's what happens when we get old. And I used to get upset and try to correct people on the spot, but I understood that I'm going to maybe talk to them about that later and carry the conversation relationship in a different direction that encourages them. And make sure I check myself. I don't do anything that promotes fear in them.
Right.
Because if they say they're fearful, I'm going to correct them. I'll just kind of create an environment to kind of
facilitate that. Let them talk, and we just listen. We listen.
Yes, absolutely.
And then they kind of figure it out on their own as they keep coming back to us.
The most necessary part, and that's the most beautiful part about getting outside the insurance system, and the pressure is, you got to come Tuesday at 5, and you got 3 more, and you got to go. And it's like the person doesn't feel loved or welcome and genuine. And Tyler's situation is much more superior to most physical therapists because it's like you're working with somebody, you have a relationship, and you show you care because you're not talking about you have 2 more, 3 more like a threat. With the insurance system
dictating it is, well, you got 10 visits.
Yeah.
Right? 10
And-
visits, that's it.
Yeah.
And then 10 visits 2 times a week. You know,
I don't care how good of a PT or coach trainer, like it's a relationship you got to build, and it's
Yeah.
just it's no. That's what goes back to fancy exercises. That's more
Right.
like the buy-in, you know. But really, when you have a relationship established, it's going to take months to get better.
years.
It took months, years to get the
Yeah.
problem. Same to get better.
Yeah.
Maybe a little faster, but I mean, it's like basically there's different ratios you got to think about it. But if you've been hurt for 5 years, like I've had people who haven't lifted their arm in 5 years, no therapy, no exercise, they just go get a surgery and they still can't lift their arm after
Right.
surgery. They're still frustrated. It's like,
Well, they're going to
It's
come
hard
and you say,
conversation.
Dr. Riley, I want to feel better
yeah,
today.
today.
Well, you know, can't do that. They
It
come
goes-
to me and say, hey, coach,
Yeah.
I want to increase my 40 time today.
I need
well,
a top 5 exercise like YouTube. Top 5
Yeah.
exercise to take 0.2 of a second
What
off
can
your
I
40.
do
Add,
today?
add a foot on your vertical. Like,
Right.
whoa. Like, there's no
Hold
steroid
on,
in the
player.
world. Like, no.
Doesn't work
There's
that
no
way.
Ivan Drago juice. There's no Rocky music. There's no.
Ivan
thing. That's the
Drago
biggest thing,
was
man.
clean, by the way.
He was.
Clean. He didn't.
He had a lot of.
partake.
It was all goat milk. It was all
What did
just
they
Russian
say?
goat milk.
Yeah, I mean, they.
Oh, yeah,
she
yeah.
Even his wife even said something in an interview. She got mad because they were asking about like steroids or something.
Dude, I gotta watch Rocky. Yeah.
Right? They were
Yes.
on a panel and they asked about steroids or
Yeah.
something. Because that was in that era, the
Yep,
steroid
steroid
era.
era,
Even like
yep.
baseball was
Mhm.
big in that era, in the 80s, 90s time frame, you know. But yeah, they were adamant on Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago was clean.
man.
We gotta revisit Rockies. Rocky in itself was ahead of his time, man. It's
Right.
like 30, 40 years ago, but it's like so much stuff is more still relevant in culture. And I think we joke about a lot of pop culture references like Adam Sandler
man.
movies, but in literally, but there's a lot of themes in human behavior that we joke about that we kind of see
They
in our
resurface.
yeah
every
resurface
day, man.
every day,
every day, man.
That's another topic. That could be an entire episode. Like,
Right,
we
dude.
got a couple of topics coming up. So today we did geriatrics.
Yeah, and
Next time we do PD.
well,
pediatric
let's jump into
populations.
Pete's, man. Yeah, because you know, my boys, they
Okay.
love the Rocky movies.
Sure.
Right? And they're starting to love some Adam Sandler stuff. Cooper's learning to spell and learning to read and everything. And I showed him the Adam Sandler spelling bee, I think, and it's Billy Madison when he was in third grade.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you going to the mall later, right? And so I showed Cooper that, and he kind of got a kick out of it, man. I think he was
Nice,
laughing
man.
more because I was laughing.
Sure.
He'll appreciate it soon enough,
Exactly,
you know.
yeah.
But just the spelling and all that, and we're gonna jump into pediatrics in episode 2 of season 2, right?
Season
2.
Sorry,
right
this is
now, yeah.
season 2 of the Coffee Press.
Welcome back. We've
We're,
missed you guys.
Missed y'all. Like you know, back growing up, the seasons always started in the fall, like August, September. It was
Right.
a season, and then season 2 is the next year. But now the new thing is Netflix. They'll put a show out in the fall.
Right.
Then like 2 years later, a year and a half later, it's
Yeah, man.
season 2. So that's how we're gonna do it. It's just gonna be season 2 for a while. I think we know what worked, what didn't work the first year, and got this new S21 phone. We have all this fancy equipment, so hopefully we can kick it up a notch. And like I said, take some feedback from our great viewers.
Yeah.
If there's any profanity, please tell us. We'll see how it goes. So it should be a fun season 2. All
Awesome.
right, Tyler.
Hey.
So in the Coffee Press.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You don't have any
Coffee.
Where is it?
It was a fist bump, man.
Oh, man. No.
No fist